The room was filled with a quiet hum of anticipation, the sleek glass walls reflecting the polished ambition of the billion-dollar empire. She stepped in, poised and confident, yet beneath the surface a storm of nerves brewed. The CEO, a young woman whose talent and vision had already begun to ripple through the corporate world, found herself unexpectedly confronted not by praise, but by a challenge that cut deeper than any boardroom debate. The head of the board, an imposing figure with a gaze sharp enough to pierce through steel, calmly instructed her to serve coffee to the executives gathered for the high-stakes meeting. A hush fell over the room as whispers fluttered like shadows, eyes flickering between disbelief and judgment. The command felt like a subtle dismissal, a stark reminder that despite her accomplishments, she was still being tested, reduced to a role beneath her worth. Yet in that moment of unexpected trial, her heart pounded not with humiliation, but with a fierce determination. This was not a defeat. It was a call to prove herself in a way words never could. Every step she took towards the coffee station echoed like a drumbeat of resilience, and in her eyes burned the unyielding fire of someone who knew that true strength often reveals itself most vividly in the face of the harshest trials. Behind the polished veneer of the boardroom and the sharp glances lay a story seldom told, one of relentless, quiet perseverance. Every morning before the sun painted the city skyline, she was already awake, diving into stacks of reports, learning the intricacies of the empire piece by piece, her fingers tracing blueprints of success forged by vision and grit. The whispers that once lingered like cold shadows began to fade as she moved through the corporate halls with unwavering focus, never once allowing bitterness or doubt to seep into her soul. In silence, she built alliances with the janitors who cleaned the floors, the secretaries who knew the pulse of daily affairs, the engineers whose innovations powered the company. She listened when others spoke, absorbed every lesson from failures and setbacks, and transformed each stumble into a stepping stone. No grand speeches, no dramatic displays, just a steadfast heart beating steadily beneath the surface, fueled by a deep conviction that persistence was her quiet rebellion against the world's underestimation. And while others saw only a woman who had been ordered to serve coffee, she knew that her true work was being done far from the spotlight, in the hours when the office was empty and dreams were forged in the fires of patience and resilience. The moment arrived unexpectedly, like a sudden break of sunlight through storm clouds, illuminating everything with a clarity she had longed for but never dared to expect. It was not announced with fanfare or heralded by trumpets. It came quietly, almost unnoticed at first. A critical meeting, a last-minute vacancy in the leadership lineup, a chance for her to step beyond the shadows and into the arena where decisions shaped futures. Her heart pounded with a mix of exhilaration and fear, a cocktail of emotions that only those who have fought silently for years could understand. This was more than just a professional opportunity. It was the validation of every late night, every sacrifice, every whispered doubt she had silenced with determination. She felt the weight of countless eyes suddenly upon her, some skeptical, others hopeful, but all demanding proof that she belonged here. With steady hands and a calm voice, she spoke not just of strategies and numbers, but of vision, of renewal, of an empire that could thrive not through tradition alone but through courage and innovation. Each word was a brushstroke painting a future she was ready to claim, not as an outsider, not as a token, but as a rightful leader. The room shifted in that moment, the tide turning as respect replaced doubt, and the golden opportunity transformed into a gateway, one she stepped through with a fierce, radiant resolve. The room buzzed with a new energy, a subtle but undeniable shift that rippled through every corner of the corporate world she had once only observed from afar. Recognition came not with a simple nod or a quiet murmur, but with a profound acknowledgement of her worth, a validation carved from the depths of relentless perseverance and unwavering integrity. As her name was spoken with respect and her vision embraced, a powerful sense of belonging settled over her like a long-awaited dawn breaking after endless nights of doubt. The leaders who once doubted her now extended hands not only in welcome but in trust, offering her not just a title but the keys to shape the destiny of a billion-dollar empire. The weight of responsibility pressed against her shoulders, both daunting and exhilarating, but within it lay an unshakable conviction. This was her moment to lead, to inspire, to transform. Empowered by the confidence of those around her and the fire burning within, she stepped fully into her role, her voice carrying the authority of someone who had earned her place through grit and grace. Each decision she made echoed with purpose, every action a testament to the power of resilience and the undeniable truth that sometimes the greatest victories come when the world finally sees you, not as a fleeting presence, but as an essential force destined to change everything. In the quiet moments after the storm of recognition and change, she found herself reflecting deeply on the journey that had brought her here, on the countless unseen battles fought in silence, on the strength found not in titles or accolades, but in enduring hope and steadfast courage. The lessons etched into her soul were profound and humbling, that true power is not wielded through dominance or fear, but through empathy, patience, and the willingness to listen even when the world rushes past. She understood now that every setback had been a lesson in disguise, every dismissal a call to grow stronger, every lonely night a forging of resilience that no gold or glory could replicate. The empire she now led was more than a business. It was a testament to the indomitable spirit that refuses to be defined by circumstance or broken by doubt. And in this revelation, she embraced a new kind of leadership, one that valued humanity above profit, connection above control, and legacy over fleeting success. The journey had changed her, softened her edges while sharpening her resolve, and she vowed to carry these truths forward, ensuring that the path she paved would illuminate the way for those who would come after. In the end, the greatest lesson was clear. Success is sweetest when it lifts others, and the Real Empire lies in the hearts touched and the lives transformed.